Alright, hey guys, what's up? NPS3D here and welcome back to another excited visual effect, but with a little twist. This time we are going to put a satisfied pendulum loop inside real world, and I will talk about the inspiration. But before that, let me show you what we are going to create today. Alright, I hope you really enjoy the preview and now you are ready to learn this effect. And guys, if you are more interested about learning visual effect, I made a course called Modern Visual Effect where I shared amazing tips and I created amazing stuff using Blender and After Effects from a beginner perspective. So I will highly recommend, if you wanna step inside visual effect, this course will help you a lot. So kindly go and check it out. I will put a link in my video description. Thank you. And as you know, we will use After Effects for tracking and Blender for modeling, placing 3D object and creating all kind of main illusion. So the main idea came from a profile called Damien Benito. He is an artist and he is making all kind of this pendulum effect which you can see on the screen, and he is really amazing, which is making these kinds of amazing visuals in real world using his skill. If you will visit his profile, you will see his experiment and all R&D stuff. So great salute to this person. I will start from modeling. So let's open Blender and I will simply delete everything. I'll press Shift A and here you can see the shortcut. So I hope maybe you know little bit of modeling stuff. This much is height is enough. Make it little thinner. Control A and apply all the scale. If you observe this, you can see there is a hole in between this box and there is also a thin line going on. So first let's create a UV sphere. Let's make it smaller, move it almost around here. Let's make it a little little more long. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Make sure to apply all the scale. I'll select this sphere, go to the modifier, and I will add a subdivision modifier to add some more geometry, and it will help me to perfectly create a smooth cut inside this box using Boolean modifier. So first I will apply this subdivision surface, set smooth, and I will hide this for now. I will select the box, press tab to go inside the edit mode, press A to select this box, right click and subdivide few times, and that's pretty much it. Maybe one more time. Let's open the sphere. Let's create a box. Let's make it thin like this, also in a X direction. Z and move it here. Press S and just scale it. Apply the scale of this box, and this will be our middle box. So let's see which will work. So first I will select our box, cube. This will be our box main base. I'll go to the modifier and add a Boolean modifier, and then I will select first the sphere. And right now you can't see anything, so maybe I will disable this sphere from the viewport, and you can see we have a perfect hole in the box. Create a one Boolean modifier, and this time I will pick this middle box and hide from this, and you can see we have a perfect cut in between here. You can see I'll select this box, make it shade auto smooth, and you can see we get rid of this weird edge stuff. This looks pretty similar to here, you can see, and I'm happy. So what I will do now, I will simply apply the Boolean modifier first and then in the second one. And now I don't need this box, so I'll delete this, but I need this sphere because I will use this sphere to create this ball, and there is much amazing stuff going on when the light hit this ball. So I'll show you how easily and quickly you can do it. So the next step is to create a base, and if you'll see here, this is a base. So this is just a cube, so I'll create a cube and just make it small and just increase the size a bit and like Control A and apply the scale. What I can do more, I can come back here and add a bevel modifier, okay, and just down the amount and increase the segments like 5, and it will add a nice edge, soft edge, and it will help us to get light. This is a sharp edge, you can see, but this is a smooth edge and it will catch the light. So this is the main thing. I can simply select this box and let me try to add a bevel here, and let's see if it will not create any weird thing. So let's come back here and just increase the segments, and you can see it start creating some weird thing. I don't know why. Next method which I can do, I can simply press tab and I can press 2 and select this edge. I can select this edge, and maybe I will select this edge and this one also, and just add bevel over here. Control B, and that's pretty much it. Now let's enable our sphere, and this will be our ball. If you will see this preview, you can see there is a thin rope which is the ball is hanging from the rope. So he made multiple different kinds of work. There is one more here, you can see it has this thing. So it's up to you if you wanna hang this with a simple rope. So I will create a cylinder and I will make it small. Let's change this to the individual origin, and I will make it even more small. So this looks pretty okay, and maybe I can make it more big, so in real life I will not able to see from where it is hanging. Okay, so this is one method. So let me rename this to the rope, and I will make it side, and I will simply create one more cylinder, and let's make it small. And after creating this, what I can do more, I can simply first I can apply the scale, and I can simply create one more UV cylinder and just put it here, RX90, and make it small, and then make it scale it in a a Y direction, and just put it here. So set smooth. So now you can see we have this thing and also these things, and we can animate this ball accordingly. So let me go with this, and maybe you can same way you can follow with the rope if you want. So the next step is to combine these three in a separate, in a one object, so that we can animate one thing and it animate everything. So if you'll see here, this is the the same look which we created here. Maybe if you want, you can just make it little bigger, just a bit. And also here maybe I can apply a bevel modifier, add segments, and down this like this. I'll press 3 for the side view, and I'll make this sphere little like this, so that we can create a nice ring around this. Apply the scale, and looks everything pretty good. Here I wanna do one more thing before joining everything. If you'll maybe I will start play, you will see the front is totally black, and the half sphere is, if it will, yeah, here you can see the half sphere is like a chrome. So if you'll see his other examples, maybe here you can see, yeah, it's a perfect example, you can see. So this is what I'm going to do now. So I'll press slash, the half black is like this, and other half just behind this, not from this area half and this area chrome. So we have to keep this in our mind. So for selecting this, I'll press tab and 3 for the face selection, and you can see it's good, but here you can see some areas is not selected. So I will press C for the circular selection, ESC, and then I will simply keep selecting. Maybe you have a better option to select. I am holding control to select this. Almost perfectly I selected this. You can see half area I selected. So I'll go to the material tab, create a new material. This will be a black maybe, and assign. Then I'll press Ctrl I to invert the selection, and then I'll click here to create a new material, and this will be chrome, and assign. Let's press 3 and unsolo this. Now the next step is select this and I select this rod and create a new material, and maybe this will also be the black. I think this is a chrome. Yes, this is a chrome one. I think it will be the black, so let's apply the black here and this will be for the chrome. Perfect. So now I will select this all three, make sure there is no modifier available, and if there is any, make sure to apply, and then select both three and Ctrl J to join them in one object. Okay, so now if I'll move anything, it will move, just because our origin is here, that's why this is looking little weird. So I'll press 3 to this active tool and workspace, and here is the option affect only origin. If I'll check on, now your origin is free and your object is lock. So now I'll select the move tool and I'll move this over here where this thing is. Okay. So if you wanna animate your stuff from here, keep your origin here, or if you wanna move stuff from here, you can keep your origin here, but this is the point from where I want to animate. Okay, so I'll move our origin here and you are free, you can come back anytime here and you can change this. It's perfectly in the middle. Perfect. Now uncheck this and I'll press 3. This is a good time to create another separate view. So click here and make a vertical split in the middle. Perfect. And let's press 1 for this left. You can see this is the front, and from the object it's look like left. Okay, so this looks good, and let me also create some room over here, and it's a good time to animate. So let's suppose I did not shoot my clip yet, but I am hoping I will shoot like 20-second clip. So if I'll open a calculator, and if my frame rate is 25 and the clip length will be 20 seconds, so it will be like 500 frames, or maybe like 25 into 15-second clip will be like 375. So let's go with the 375, or maybe I'll increase. So first let's start from here. So now I'll have to select this, press I and add a rotation, and it will add a keyframe in the rotation tab here. You can also press N to see the rotation parameter, and you can also change the things from here. Okay, so now we have to animate Y. So I'll go maybe like 60 frame, and here I will make it like 35, or maybe like -25, because in starting I wanna face this ball coming forward. Press I over here, then come back 120 frames and let's make it 25. Press I and come back 180 and just repeat this step, and let's make it I, and then those 40 and 25 and let's I. First let me check if this movement is not so fast. Yeah, so this is not so fast, this looks, and yeah, so this looks not bad. Let's make it -25 and let's make it like over here it will be like 25. Yes, and 360 frames is not bad. Okay, so if we'll start play, we'll see. And just because if I'll change the timeline to the graph editor, you can see the graph, it has nice curve movement going on. So the Blender has default interpolation is if I'll press T is a Bezier, so it automatically set things like it's going little slow to fast, then fast to slow. So this looks not bad, this looks pretty good. Now we are good to move, and you can feel free to change this graph filter, and you can change this graph, but I am pretty okay with this look. I'll press N, and now I will move to the shading part, and once our shading will complete, like our texturing will complete, then we will move to the tracking part, track our clip, then we'll bring the whole data inside Blender, and then we will composite these things inside our footage, and after final correction we will render. Okay, so this looks good. The movement is not so fast and not so slow, so this is pretty good. The one thing which I missed over here, if you'll see, like we did forget to apply the bevel. So let me select this, Control B, and just add a little bevel, and yeah, this looks, yeah. So what I was talking about, like, yeah, I forget one thing. Let me make it set smooth. Okay, so I forget to add one thing, like here I have to add any type of joint which help us these things to move, like cursor over here. Then I can add a cylinder RX90 like this. Kind of I can mimic, but I will suggest you to add good joint over here which looks decent. Maybe I can just make it a little bigger. Yeah, this looks pretty good for now. Okay, now we are in a texturing parts. Let's change this to the join area. Okay, and let's create another view, and this will be shader editor, and here I'll maybe change this to the rendered mode and change this cycles and make it GPU. I will also create a sky texture and just change a few settings just for now. Down also the strength, and here I'll change this to film to the transparent, so we'll only focus our object. So now we have a good lighting and environment stuff going on, so now we can focus on the texturing. So first I will select this box. If you will see any example like this one, this is the, you can see the example. So if you'll see clearly, there is light inside this ring, so we have to assign a different texture there. But before, first let's add texture into our ball. So I'll select the ball, and already we added black and chrome. So let me see which face is black and which face is chrome. So for the black face selected material, I will make this black. I will increase the roughness and increase the specular, so it will catch the full specular and the roughness. Maybe I'll make it little down and make it little more. Okay, so it is a ball, and maybe you can add some like a noise texture. Let's add a bump and choose the color into the maybe height and plug this normal in, bump into the normal, and here I will just down the distance and also down the strength and increase the scale. You can see, and let's press Ctrl T and maybe change this to the object. Okay, you can see, and I will make it maybe down the strength even more. There is some texture into our ball, that's why I just added. Maybe I can choose this factor also in the roughness, and the roughness will behave accordingly, but I am good with this. Also I will change things a little later also if I need. Increase the roughness a bit more. Okay, for now. Then I will rotate this, maybe environment tab, just make it little 0.2. I will select this ball and select the chrome one, and here I will just simply enable metallic. Down the roughness a lot, down the specular also. For more good appearance, what I can do, I can remove our skylight and I will add a new environment texture, open, and I will load a HDRI. So yeah, you can see this is a nice HDRI. So I'll press tab to go inside the edit mode, and maybe I will solo this first over here, and I can use the same material because here if you'll see this black and this black is little or kind of a similar, so maybe I can use the same. Let's make and use the black one, so it is the same black. And if I'll unsolo this, I'll select this base and also will use the black same texture. Okay, so I will select this box first, solo this by pressing slash and press tab to go inside the edit mode, and I'll press 3 and enable this X-ray view 1 and drag and select, so it will only select the vertex, and here you can see everything is selected. Now I can press Ctrl and deselect this part which I don't wanna include, and press 3 for the face selection. So now you can see the only face inside this circle is selected. I'll click on this plus icon and click new, and this will be emission. Okay, and let's assign. So now we have the same model, but we already assigned a different material for this part. And in the shader editor I will come, and then I will simply, I don't need to specular roughness and all, see it doesn't matter because I will use emission. And on the emission I can also use a black body and plug this color into the emission. So if you'll focus here, you can see something is going on, but also in this area which I don't want. So I'll press 3 and select this face, also this face, and then select this black and assign. Now we no longer able to see that. So here is a thing guys, let's select and select the emission. So I plugged black body and put this into emission. Now I can, if I'll change this value, things will behave accordingly. If I'll go to the environment tab and just down the environment a lot so that you can only focus. Let's make it, and let's increase the emission strength. So you can see here, you can see we are getting the nice highlight which actually we want. Here you can see, so this looks pretty, you can see, pretty good. So let's make it 150 for now, and here I can change this to the 1500 or maybe 18. Or if you don't like, you can unplug this and add your own color. If you want to add a any kind of a specific color, you can just simply add it. Alright, so we are very close to that artwork. Now if I select this and select the black, I can now manipulate the roughness to get this soft highlight which you can see on the here ball coming on. So if you'll play with the roughness, if roughness is 0 and specular is full, it will create a sharp reflection. You can see sharp. But if your roughness is little high, it will create some blurry. You can see blurry and also soft. So it's up to you how much you wanna keep, and you can also play some metallic value to mix things. And one more thing which I wanna do now, I'll press Shift D to duplicate this GX and move it a bit. Let's disable snapping and just move it little aside. I'll press SX and make it more thinner, and then I'll select this. I'll select this black and I'll just duplicate this, and on here I will simply make it little white and increase the metallic down the specular and also the roughness, just because I want to create some kind of a mirror over here, so that way maybe it will reflect more on the ball. You can see the black, and also maybe just remove the normal. So maybe so yeah, this looks pretty okay, not bad. Or you can spend more time to play, and you can see we created something, and this looks pretty good. Now we will shoot our footage and then we will drag, and then I will back, so we'll transfer this whole data inside the project. Okay. And guys, if you are really enjoying this tutorial, please hit the like button and consider subscribing our channel, because there are not much people who are subscribing this channel. So please subscribe our channel so that we can grow fast, because I am working hard to make amazing stuff. So please if you like the content, subscribe our channel and please share with friends and family. So now our main animation is done. So now let's move to the dragging part. So first I will import my clip, then I will simply drag and drop to this icon and it will create a new composition. Right now my clip is in a 30 frames. Then I'll simply pre-comp this footage and I will apply a unsharp mask and a tint effect to add some contrast and desaturation. Then I will simply apply 3D camera tracker effect and enable detail analyze and change the solve method to typical. And once tracking is done, simply drag few points and I will create set ground plane and origin. Then I will move my cursor over here and I will create a solid and a camera, and I will scale the solid layer and apply a grid effect, and it looks like it's proper sticking on the ground. So now the next part is to move this data inside Blender. For that I will use a add-on called A2 Blend. I'll select the camera, press U and it will reveal the keyframes. I'll copy position and orientation, go inside the Blender and click on this button called create camera, and it will create our moving camera. I'll just drag one frame forward. I will change the frame into 400 and I will also change the dimension to 1080 by 9020, and I will also change the frame rate to 30, and this is pretty much it. I will select my camera and go to the camera properties, background image, add image, movie clip, and here I will load the same footage and I will increase the opacity to 1, or you can decrease it. Come back inside After Effects, select our ground layer and reveal the transformation and copy anchor point, position, scale and orientation by pressing Ctrl C, and inside Blender I will click on create plane and it will create the plane. But if I will start playing, you will see it's not properly aligning. So for fixing this, I will simply come back inside After Effects, double tap on the camera and copy the focal length and paste it inside the Blender, and I will divide this with 1.777778, and now we are good to go. So I will create a cube and I will parent my camera transform and the plane transform with the cube, and I will just scale down my cube and it will scale down my whole scene. And if I will rotate, it will rotate my whole scene. So basically with the cube control I can reorientate and also rescale my scene. So now I will open my project where we created the pendulum effect, and we will select everything, and by pressing Ctrl C we will copy this, and then inside this tracking comp will Ctrl V to paste that object over here, and then I will create a empty and I will parent pendulum every object with this empty. So now I have a control so that I can move it freely anywhere in my scene. So now I will place it inside the middle. Maybe I will scale it a little bit more, and then I will simply change this view into the rendered view, and I'll go to the render properties, enable cycles, GPU, go to the film, enable transparent, and then I'll go to the world tab, and here I will use a 360 image which I captured on the same location to catch some reflection and the same lighting. Open shader editor, and here go to the world and press Ctrl T and go to the render tab, render setting, and disable transparent so that we can see our environment. And on here I will rotate my 360 environment, and I'll boost the intensity little bit. Select our ground plane and make it shadow catcher. Then I will create a sun and I will boost the intensity to create some shadows, and I will increase the angle to create a soft shadow. I just simply select everything of the pendulum with empty, and then I simply shift D to duplicate and I place it in the scene. So basically I creating multiple copies of the pendulum, and I was increasing the plane size so that it will every pendulum can catch the shadow and ambient occlusion. Then I simply select my plane, apply a new material, and change the base color to little dark, which match with our ground, and this way our shadow is now little dark. And I just play with the roughness little bit to get a nicer look which I want. And you can tweak a few things more, and I just created more copies and place it, and I think this looks pretty good. Then I shared all the BTS which I am working on my Patreon page and also on the YouTube Pro member. So if you did not join us yet, I will highly suggest you to join, because if you will join as a Patreon member, you will get all the BTS and all the project file, maximum project file, and all the early access tutorial which I shared before publishing on YouTube. There are many more benefits which you can check. The link will be in my video description. You can go there and check it. So after this you can render it. So I rendered few things in a separate pass, just like color, shadow catcher, mist, and emission, so that in compositing I have a control. So what you have to do, just go to the passes and tick on everything, and you can just click on this find decide the where you wanna export. I am exporting in EXR, but it's not necessary. You can also export it in a PNG without this node setup and all. After rendering completed, I will open the same project which we track inside After Effects, and here I will just double tap and import my all the sequences, and just drag and drop it here, and just apply a extractor R and choose the color, and then now you can see it's black. Now you can use exposure and just make the gamma to 3, and now it's looking pretty good. There is shadow missing, so I'll simply duplicate our footage rendered sequence, and here on the layer I will change this to the shadow catcher and change the blending mode to the multiply, and I will play with the exposure, like I will down the gamma correction, and now it's looking pretty good. And same way I will extract the emission data, and I will apply some glow. If I need, I can also use mist and all. These are the few things which I did, and after few little color correction and all, this is the final result. hope you really enjoy the tutorial. I hope you learned something, and now this way you can place your 3D animation, 3D artwork inside real world. Now you have a proper knowledge how to do it. And for learning more visual effect, I have many tutorials available free on YouTube. Also, I have a course available on our website and also on the Gumroad. So I will put every link in my video description. You can go there and check all the details related to our course, and it will help you a lot. So if you learn something, please hit the like button, subscribe our channel so that we can grow little fast. And thanks a lot for watching. I am NPS3D and I will see you next time. This is it guy. Bye bye.